Good morning, my name is Catherine and I'd like to welcome you all to my YouTube channel Serenity Sews. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will know that this is the first video in many months, and I thought what I'd do is come on and explain what's been happening, why, and just fill you in a little bit. So earlier this year I had an operation on my hand. I've had severe pain for many weeks and months and probably years now, and we discovered it was severe carpal tunnel and I was at risk of losing the nerve that supplied the muscles in my hand, and so I had an operation which has rectified a great deal of it, and as you can see, there's not hardly any visual signs of that surgery, but believe you me, it's made a huge difference to me. And tomorrow I'm going in for the same operation but on this hand. And now I'm right-handed, so I knew I wouldn't be able to sew for a while. So that's a little bit about what's been happening to me. Also, I have had a bit of a low time really, and that's mainly because if you remember, my daughter died tragically at the age of 33, and the two boys she left, I have a great deal of input in parenting and helping them. Now, one of them is 18 and the other is 15, and as all of you that have children will know, these are difficult years, and it certainly has been the case for them, and they've taken a great deal of my time and energy. And I think when you do these kind of videos, you can really tell very quickly if someone is not in the right frame of mind to doing it. So I decided I would take a break from it and then look at when I felt that I was able to do it really. It's 9 years now since my daughter died, and people tell you it gets easier or time heals, and really a lot of these I know meant in the right way to comfort you, but actually it doesn't get easier, and in some respects it gets harder. And her boys now, I know, will be missing her for the input that she had, and just by being a mum, coming home from school and seeing your mum, I think is one of the great undervalued things that children and mothers do. And I do know that they found that hard. I go across, they live about 40 miles away, and I do go across and meet up with them. The youngest one particularly has had a difficult year with school, and so what I do, I go and meet him from school. We have tea at Costa, and that to me just is our little treat, me and Luca, and I know that he looks forward to that, even though he doesn't say that. I do know he does. So these kind of moments and the times that we spend with our family, I think, are really important. The other thing is, my husband, again, as those who followed me for a while will know, he was incredibly ill last year and was hospitalised twice for serious infections, he decided at Christmas to retire, which I was very glad about, and it has helped him and made a difference to him. But once again, I feel like I've needed to be there for him. And although he never says, you know, you can't go upstairs and so, or anything ridiculous like that, I've just felt that I've not had the energy in some respects to do this part of my sewing life and give it the best. So that's why I've not been with you. Now, the other thing is, I'm also a midwife. I'm an associate professor of midwifery. Very little input really, I feel, from me, but I do have a contract to work at a university, and I've been doing some teaching and assessing, etc. And very recently I was invited to Norway to a conference that was happening by a lovely midwife called Katrine Trulsvik. Now, I probably messed up her name, and I'm not sure that she would listen to this video anyway, but she opened up her home to me and a couple of other maternity people, and gave us a lovely little break actually. And I was lucky enough to go a little tour and see some of the sights of Norway. We were planning on going to Bergen, but the weather prior to us getting there had been very rainy, and therefore there were floods. It's right on the coast, as any of you will know. In fact, Norway is largely hardly any kilometres really from the beach and the coastlines. So yeah, I was very lucky to be invited to do that and had a lovely time. Now, the only thing was, I've always wanted to visit one of the Nordic countries so that I could see the aurora borealis, or the northern lights, and not a jot, didn't see anything. The week after I came home, Catherine sent a photograph of a beautiful display in the night sky right outside her house. So honestly, I'm going to have to go back. That's what she said. So I've been busy. Now, the other thing is, earlier this year I completed my contract with a publishing company and have got my book now ready for, I think it's going to be published in January or February of 24. Now, this is something I haven't talked about much on my sewing channel. I tried to keep things very separate, but I just give you a little insight. I myself am a survivor of child sexual abuse, and it has been a blight on my life, if you like, in as much as it's not been easy for me in many areas, as you can imagine. But I knew when I became a midwife it was an area that needed a great deal of education and attention. So over the years I've been educating midwives, nurses, doctors on the impact of sexual abuse on women and how it can deny them parts of their health care, but certainly can be a problem to women during their childbearing experiences. So my book has a real educational purpose to reawaken for some people, but also educate for others, the impact of surviving sexual abuse and what it means for childbirth. So you can imagine this has not been an easy book to write, but it was very much one that I wanted to do. Now, I'm not averse to writing. I've had many articles and chapters in books published before, but this is the second book that I've written. The first book was, I think that came out in 2019, and it was around worry, anxiety and fear in childbirth. So that's taken up a fair amount of my time, as you would imagine, but I know it's a book that is one that I've wanted to do for a long time, but also one that's very much needed in our society, and as I said, in the childbearing maternity platform. Yeah, couldn't think of the word then. So that's my update. I am going to follow on from this by doing a sewing video, but I thought it was important to do this one separately so that you could remember who I am, and also so that you could appreciate a little bit about why I haven't been on your screen. So I'll sign off now, and you'll see me in a little while with my sewing and update of what my makes have been, I guess. So bye for now, and speak to you again.